is if you can get enough people saying this guy's a loony, he's crazy, he's threatening, he's of a violent disposition, he's this, he's that. If enough people say that, it becomes part of the story, it becomes the reality, and that's clearly what happened.
Say something often enough and people will accept it.
I think that's true, yeah.
Regardless of the reality, right.
Channel 4 Dispatches correspondent Chris Plumley recently asked my barrister, Michael Wolkine QC, on the context, on the subject of police corruption in my case, was this just a matter of a few bad apples spoiling the barrel?
The misconduct of the police in their investigation, in their interviewing, in their gathering of evidence, and in their performance at trial was no surprise to me. Funnily enough, it was a surprise to Ian. And it's no surprise to me because unlike the public who may hear the headline case, now and again they don't see the day-to-day performance of police officers. Of course I'm willing to concede that there is the occasional good apple in the barrel. But what Ian saw was a shock to him and maybe a shock to many people.
I dug it out the other day, man, and it was like, I fucking forgot about that. Because she's got something to do with Puddick.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Puddick put her on to Michael Wolkine, didn't he? But I don't
that's
think
right, that's right. Yeah, it was you that told me that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, finally, the police did take action, but 4 years late.
Mark, thank you for updating us on that. Well, we can now speak to Michael Wolkine QC. He defended Joanne Majelix. Thank you ever so much for coming in. I know that Joanne didn't feel well enough to come and talk to us today, but I know you've spoken to her about this report. What's her reaction to it?
Degree of satisfaction. She's disappointed on a personal level. There's no apology to her. It's probably time for South Wales to respond with an apology which shows their integrity and to speak with grace about how they disregarded her. But it brings back these events, not as if she forgets them ever. Every day she tells me she cries for no obvious reason. Actually, the reasons are obvious. She was disregarded. She was someone who was defamed, written off as because of her less than conventional lifestyle. Maybe it wasn't a steady lifestyle.
She was a former sex worker?
Yes, she was a former sex worker, and so what? And she was wrongly accused during the trial of having been sectioned, mental health section. That wasn't true. And so to face a jury with a person who comes from that sort of background was difficult. Their starting point might also be to disbelieve her. But police who had the opportunity to look for corroboration of her claims didn't do anything. They didn't have the wit to examine her phone. On her phone was a text with a wish list of abuse from Ian Watkins.
Do you know why? Because she was in a sort of on-off relationship with Ian Watkins, wasn't she? She'd got this text message from him, which, as you say, clearly outlined his desire to abuse children.
Yes.
She went to the police. Why didn't they?
She went to the police with a laptop. One police officer said that he or she wasn't qualified to examine a laptop. So whereas you and I can look at a laptop and be alarmed and at least interested when we see a child, he or she, I forget, I think it was a woman, wasn't interested enough because she wasn't qualified. So Joanne went back again and again and again, 4 times in all. So they didn't ask about her phone, but here was the laptop. And she said, I've got a picture that he sent me. They denied in due course that it was an underage child. It was a child of 4 or 5. During the trial, they claimed it was a child over the age of consent. They were wrong because Joanne didn't count for them.
Here it is, found it. Joanne Nikita, she's called herself on here. All right, let me send you that. Fucking thing. That is the one there, isn't it? Oh, look. Have a look. I have posted this on Twitter before. I might whack it up in a minute, actually. Joanne Nikita wants to connect with you. Hi, Brian. My name is Joanne Majelix. I'm the woman who kept reporting evil paedophile Ian Watkins from Lost Profits. I've been set up by police and CPS for exposing their failings and cover-up. Tom Cahill thought we'd have a lot to talk about. That one.
Yeah.
I forgot she mentioned you on that, actually.
Yeah, well, you know, the reason is because at that time you were still like sucking up information, weren't you? You know what I mean? You were kind of like not knowing what was true, not knowing what wasn't true. I didn't know what was true. I didn't know what wasn't true. I'd only just started speaking to you, and I thought maybe she'll drop something, you know, with you that she'll. Because at the time I didn't really know what a game was. I mean, I just didn't know, and I can't remember what I actually really thought of at that exact time because I can't remember exactly chronology. But the thing with some of these people is they drop things. It's a bit like Andrew Ash. He's quite clearly a bullshitter, isn't he? But you persevered with him, and then he starts coming out with things like, yeah, I think you want you to kill yourself. Yeah. You know, like he starts just saying loads of stuff that are very damning. You know what I mean? Like David Icke isn't.
She cries for no obvious reason. Actually, the reasons are obvious. She was disregarded. She was someone who was defamed, written off as because of her less than conventional lifestyle. Maybe it wasn't a steady lifestyle.
She was a former sex worker.
Yes, she was a former sex worker, and so what? And she was wrongly accused during the trial of having been sectioned.
Hello, today I'm here with our first citizen activist exposing police corruption and no friend of Brian Harvey. His name is Ian Puddick.
Brian who? Hi, my name's Ian Puddick. We're just going to make a very short film this evening. We're filming here in my office. Anyone that knows me knows what I do for a living. I have two jobs. I'm very, very lucky. I run a leak detection company. We have engineers out on the road who have special technology for going out and finding leaks on things. And the other job that I have is, my background really is I'm a communications consultant. I've worked with the Queen at Buckingham Palace. I've recently advised the Cabinet Office, and I've worked on CEO communications for Vodafone and Rolls-Royce. Anyone that knows my case understands what it's about, and it's really simple. It's about police corruption and really the root of police corruption, which is the lack of accountability. Police corruption only exists because of the lack of accountability. People will always do bad things. There's nothing you and I can do about that, but the lack of accountability of our police force enables them to cover things up. And I'm going to talk about that very, very briefly in this little presentation this evening. But you know, we're talking about people's lives. We've got a poor chap that's dead. His family's lives are in tatters. That's real police corruption. Real police corruption.
Oh my goodness.
Mine's a walk in the park compared to that. I haven't lost anybody.
So, I don't know when it was, about a year or so ago, people started saying to me, this guy called Brian Harvey's making videos about you.
Rightly so.
And I watched the videos, and this guy just ranting about me.
Yeah.
Effing Sean Atwood, effing John Wedger, effing Ian Puddick, effing... Who's the other guy he's got it in for?
Loads. There's loads. Yeah, Sean, yourself.
Bill something.
Bill Maloney.
Bill Maloney.
Bill Maloney.
Hang on. What, after me. Come forward.
Come forward.
Victims, come forward.
Victims, come forward.
To be or not to be.
To be or not to be.
No.
To be.
After me. Wait for me. Get the timing right. Come forward.
Come forward.
Victims, come forward.
Victims, come forward.
To be or not to be. That is the question.
To be or not to be. That is a question.
Now do it on your own.
Victims.
No. Again. Come forward.
Come forward.
Again. Keep saying it. Come
Come
forward.
Come
Keep saying it.
Come forward. Come forward.
Keep saying it.
Come forward.
Now say it quickly.
Come forward.
Come forward. Quickly. Come forward. Come
Come
forward.
forward. Come forward. Come forward. Come forward.
Right now. Victims, come forward.
Victims, come forward.
Victims, come forward. Say it fast.
Victims, come forward.
Keep going.
Victims, come forward. Victims, come forward. Victims, come forward. Victims, come forward.
Now say this. Come forward. Victims, come forward.
Come forward. Victims, come forward.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
To be or not to be, that is a question.
To be or not to be, that is a question.
To be or not to be, that is a question.
Now, come forward. Victims, come forward. To be or not to be, that is the question.
No.
No, come forward.
Come forward. Victims, come forward. To be or not to be, that is the question.
Right, we're going to try it like that. If it don't work, then we'll split it up, alright? We've got Andrew's stuff, right? We've got Andrew's stuff. I don't know what the fuck it's like.
Well, you've got some
Is that
stuff.
yours?
That's yours, I think. You've got some stuff to play, yeah?
Yeah, I'll show you a little bit of stuff. I'll show you this cunt blowing the fucking... But, this geezer, I'll tell you what, I've been playing this cunt, you know what I mean?
That's
I've had
what
him
I was
crying on the
just saying to
phone.
him.
I've had this cunt crying on the phone. Andrew.
You wouldn't believe the conversations he's had with Andrew. You just think, oh my God.
But what I do want to talk about that came out is David Icke. Now, Andrew, you told me that you had sex with David Icke.
Yeah.
Where did you have sex with David Icke?
We picked him up we picked him.
You picked
I was
him
picked
up,
up from Amsterdam with film equipment.
right? On a boat.
On a boat, a big massive.
Whose boat was that, Chris?
Charles Napier of Azimuth Trust.
And the Azimuth Trust is,
It offered children in care boating holidays. It particularly specialised in very young disabled children.
Okay, now you was on a boat. You was picked up at Amsterdam.
Amsterdam with film crew and a couple of there was 3 of us were me, and I went with the film crew. I was carrying the stuff and.
Okay,
and stuff
this
like
was
that.
making pornographic movies,
the-
child
They
pornography.
picked up the set off in England. We couldn't. They want. You couldn't go.
So you
It's
went
it looked
to
innocent.
the Isle of
They went
Wight.
from England to innocent. Then they picked the camera people up from. They picked the camera people up first. Went over to Amsterdam to get supplies and stuff and pick up.
And then you went to the Isle of
We
Wight
went
to pick up
David
David Icke. And he got on that boat.
And he was on that boat 100%.
And there were disabled children on that boat going on holiday with Napier and his trust.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's a big, massive, beautiful old wooden cruise boat with great big masts and.
Okay.
And then we went to the Channel Islands. We went around the island of Sark and just spent a couple of days around there.
Yeah, let's stick on David Icke. Okay? Where on that boat did you have sex with David Icke?
Down in one of the cabins, down in the it was big, like the cabin place where everybody goes and stuff, like it's table in it and they eat in it, and it's a cabin and eating. You can eat in it, and it's a cabin, it's like a table with chairs around and.
It's an old-fashioned sailing ship. You know?
Okay, an old-fashioned sailing ship. Now, so how many occasions did you have? Did David Icke penetrate you with his penis?
It was there all 3 days, and yeah, I got buggered by him. Yeah.
How many times did David Icke bugger you on that trip?
He only did me once, but he did younger lads.
Younger
times,
lads?
lot younger
Any
lads.
disabled kids?
There was only disabled kids there.
So he was having sex. He had sex with you.
I was probably the oldest kid.
And
there.
how old was you then?
I was under 16.
Right.
Yeah, we're under 16.
Would have been about 14.
About 14. So David Icke's had sex. He buggered you there, right? and then bearing in mind you were really the equivalent to a rent boy. Because they gave you money.
I never see myself as a rent boy.
No.
I think I wasn't given money to be there. I was given money to help with the filming.
Right.
Because I was living in a bit of Amsterdam on and off through beat trafficking and stuff like that.
You know, when we was talking about these children that were on the boat, the disabled children, you said to me that most of them were Down syndrome.
Some of about half of them were Down syndrome.
Half of them were Down syndrome. Did David Icke have sex with the disabled children?
The Down syndrome child he did, yeah.
Was it a boy or a girl?
Boy.
It was a
The
boy.
one with his boys, he didn't touch the girls.
Okay. David Icke. Okay, we're going to round it up there. We've got a lot more interviewing to do with Andrew. It's you know, you can see what sort of condition the life that he had as a child has left him in, and why are you coming? I know you're one of the top witnesses of Fernbridge. You've also been threatened by Fernbridge about putting this into the public domain. They told you not to, and then they said that you can. They also told you not to speak to me or Chris Fay.
And they says I can.
And then they said you can. So you can, you can't. You can't, you can.
Then they stopped me from talking to other media and stuff by taking us away and stuff and putting us in hotels.
And also what's coming as well, people, this man was taken to the Isle of Wight, went to Parkhurst last year, paid for by
Fernbridge.
Operation Fernbridge, where they got him to have a meeting with Sidney Cook in Parkhurst.
We know about Watkins now.
He was only young, he was only a kid. And stuff.
Have you seen Jonathan King touch him?
Yeah.
Did Jonathan King touch him?
They were fucking him, yeah.
Who was?
Jonathan King's fucked him.
Has he?
I've been in the shed in the bed with. I've been in the bed with him and Jonathan King.
Effing Bill Maloney, this effing. Then he started saying that I was working for the New World Order,
which is true.
And so I thought, all right, who is this guy? I'm going to Google him. I saw that he was in a famous band.
Yeah, huge.
E17.
Yeah, massive.
And he'd run over himself or something.
Yeah, I believe so.
It looks really sad. I thought, having lived with people who suffered, seeing the suffering of people with addiction issues and mental health issues, I thought this is really sad.
It's very sad. Because he's talented. He's really talented.
Yeah.
He's very talented.
But why the hell is he...
If he put his energy into... And I had a conversation with him back in, I think it was end of January this year or beginning of February. I had a conversation with him because he accuses me of all sorts of nonsense. I said to him that, I believe, because he makes videos about him being hacked by News of the World, and from what he shows, I think he probably was.
This is our first batch of rum, and this would be the first place we've served it.
Yeah, and we're obviously at my mate Murdoch's new building here at the Shard, the news building. So fingers crossed, and good luck to everyone, i.e. Matthew and Kev, who are going to be drinking our gin and rum cocktails. We'll see you on the other side.
Hey there folks, this is an interesting conversation between two police officers during Brian Harvey's arrest, the same arrest where they seized his computers and all that. I've cleaned the audio in my music studio best I could to try and isolate what is actually being said. Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's brought to my attention a lady in one of the Facebook groups posted that she could hear this whispering between the officers, and it ends with one officer saying shh to the other one, which I find extremely interesting. So anyway, without further ado, I'll just play it back for you guys and you can make your own mind up.
If it's on YouTube, then it's already uploaded and content, whether it's been uploaded. Because if it's too, you've got to see it.
But unfortunately, the conspiracy to hack him 10 years ago, or whenever it was, by News of the World, now involves the Queen, me, you, and all sorts of nonsense. Whereas if he just concentrated on, maybe if if he feels really strongly about that, and he does, and understandably so, do something about that and just focus on getting that right, and also put some energy into his music. He always talks about his music career, and he's very talented. So do it. Don't talk about it. Do it. Do it.
Party, party. Party, party. Party, party. Party, party.
I run a leak detection company. We have engineers out on the road who have special technology for going out and finding leaks on things. And the other job that I have is, my background really is I'm a communications consultant. I've worked with the Queen at Buckingham Palace.
So why his web?
Well, Bill Maloney, from my campaigning days back then, I got introduced to Bill Maloney. And Bill's how can I describe him? Marmite figure. You either love him or you hate him. I love him. I think he's great. I won't say anything bad about him. He has very unorthodox methods. He's very direct. He's really passionate. And do you know what? If you understand his life and what happened to him in care, and I'm not going to talk about that. Bill wants to talk about that. That's for Bill to talk about. If you look at what happened to him as a young boy in care, I don't bloody blame him. I don't blame him. I'll be furious. I'd be furious what's happened to him. So he's really, really passionate about that. Some people don't like it because he's really, he shouts, he screams, he gets passionate.
Mate, I'm asking questions, right? This is bigger than you trying to get me out of the way. This is my life, it's in danger. Have a look online and you'll see that the police have been trying to fucking kill me. Right, I want to talk to Theresa May! Theresa! I want to talk to you! Right, this has gone on long enough! 22 million records! Don't let mean nothing! Don't let mean anything! You're gonna let this happen! We want Leveson too! Now! It's not going away! You can't treat people like this! Do you understand? David Cameron done it, John Major done it, and you're not gonna do it at all! You come out here and you talk to me! 22 million records, and I'm still a piece of shit. What does that say about you? What does that say about you? I'm out here waiting for you. All right? I can talk peacefully. Don't leave me out here. Don't leave me out here. Not with that. I know you can see it. I know you can see it.
He's a good friend of John Wedger's. So Bill said to me in 2014, would I buy him a Ninja recorder because they were going to do this interview with someone. So I went on eBay, bought one for a couple £100, and I gave it to Bill. Now that Ninja recorder ended up being given to Brian Harvey. So that because of that, I'm involved in the conspiracy, and he makes videos saying Ian Puddock bought me a Ninja. I've never met him. I've never met Brian Harvey.
Party, party. Party, party. Party, party. Party, party.
And what was
Bill asked me for Bill. Bill's my mate.
What harm did the Ninja cause, Brian?
It's it just involves me in the conspiracy. And then he says they went up and they did this and Puddock funded it all. That's just a lie. He just tells lies.
Hello? Bill, listen, man. Start telling me the truth about this Puddock situation and what's going on. So, just tell me the truth.
I don't fucking know, boy.
Bill, I'm going to tell you something, right? No, listen. I ain't shouting, right? Listen to me, right? I'm not silly, Bill, right? Something's been wrong here from day one. Because everyone's trying to set me up all the time. And I'm getting sick of it, Bill. I know something's wrong, right? You're trying to lead me down a path. Now, you're either working for Murdoch...
And we're obviously at my mate Murdoch's new building here at the Shard.
Right, because you're not acting right.
Right, what has fucking happened?
What has happened? Mate, everyone's taken me for a cunt. Paddock's your mate. You let him do that? How the fuck can you let... How can you let him do that?
I've met him 3 fucking times.
He's your funder, mate. Who's the geezer with a chain round his neck who comes round your house? All of the golden dong geezer that you didn't want to talk about. Bill, you've got to start answering questions, mate, because you go off the subject and you go somewhere else, and I need some answers, or seriously, mate, I'm walking away, I'm having nothing more to do with any of you. I mean it, Bill, right? I mean it. I've come to you to help you.
My mate Murdoch's new building here at the Shard.
Tell me what's going on, Bill. You ain't giving me no answers.
I'll tell you something, right? I don't know any fucking Freemasons.
Are you a Mason?
When I saw...
Bill, are you a Mason?
No, am I fucking bothered?
Well, you shook fucking Andrew's hand like you both a fucking pair it out of the craft.
No, hey,
No, mate, no, seriously, right? You can say that, but like you got to see it from my point of view, right? No, you're going to see it from my point of view for a change, Bill, right? You've got to, mate. And I'm staying on the subject this time. Something is not right, right? You got Puddick. The first time I talked to Puddick, he's offering me numbers and all that. Like I'm going to take them off of him. What's he think? I'm stupid? He's working for Murdoch somewhere. He's taking a bung. Because what I'm about to do to News International is worth a few quid to someone if they can walk me into a trap. I'm not stupid, man. Come on, Bill. Come on, mate.
Right, listen. That is the first thing he done to me. He started to draw me in, trying to draw me in, and then he started doing the phone number things he can...
Right, who is he? Who is he? Stop fucking about now. Stop fucking about. Who is he?
He tell you what I know about him.
Is he Mossad?
He won't. When he went to that fucking Tom Carhill's house, right, I had to fucking raving up.
Mate, I'm not bothered about Tom Carhill. At the end of the day, he's in fucking Thailand. I doubt he's even in Thailand. He goes off and plays fucking sound effects when he knows he's going to talk to someone, and he always needs a minute before he talks to me. Right? He's another fucking plant. Well, I'm not stupid. I'm clocking everyone, and I have done, Ben, from day one. And when I ask questions, I never get anywhere. I always get led off the path. Now, someone is trying to lead me down a path so that I can be discredited because my phone hacking proof is that strong. How comes you never asked me about it? How's the phone hacking going, right? It's always about Megan's the Heroes or something else. Right, listen, mate, I'm going to walk away, right? And I'm going to see fucking Tom Watson. Now, either you give me Andrew so I can get the truth, or I'm going to get Tom Watson to get me Andrew. Because he's the one that fucking funded him. And I'm sick of fucking about, right? I'm the one that's fucking getting ill over it. I'm the one going down shouting at fucking Cameron. I'm the one getting walked into fucking nearly perverting the course of justice with fucking Ben Fellows, who shot Tony Mortimer's film. How the fuck do they know each other? Who took Ben Fellows to Tom the first time? Who took Andrew to Tom the first time for fucking Tom to fund him? All these unanswered questions, and I'll never get any answers. But I'm going to.
I don't know any of those answers, Brian.
What, you didn't know that Ben Fellows shot Tony's film when you met me? Is that what you're telling me?
Brian, stop it, mate. For a minute. Please, come on.
Is that what you're telling me, seriously?
I don't know fuck all about Ian Paddock. I swear on my family's brains, I know fuck all about that cunt, except he is a fucking plumber, and he's got a big fucking business, and I looked on him to fund. That's what I looked on him for.
No, the geezer's putting the boot into me. You didn't even say nothing to me about it. It's like, mate, I thought you had my back. You ain't got my back.
I don't go on Twitter. I don't know fuck all. The first I heard about it was when he fucking phoned me up, the silly cunt, and told me what he'd done, and I said that was bollocks. And I haven't spoken to him since that fucking Tom Carhill stuff, and that's a little fucking welcome.
Right, because I need to get to the bottom of it. Listen, I'm just going to say it now, right? I'm just going to say it now in case you are thinking of it, because I don't know right now. I really don't know who to trust, right? So I'm going to say this one time straight. If you're thinking of walking me into some sort of a trap, Bill, now I've got to say this to you. If you're thinking of doing that, or someone's offering you a bone, I'm telling you now, mate, don't fucking take it.
So I'm involved. So, you know, did Bill ask me to buy him a Ninja recorder and did I do it? The answer is yes. And that's it. And then all the rest he just tells lies.
Oh, my goodness.
But, you know, he's not well, is he? He's not well. He's not well.
I wish him all the best. It's sad to see people suffering like that. Yeah.
It's our first batch of rum, and this would be the first place we've served it.
Yeah, and we're obviously at my mate Murdoch's new building here at the Shard. Narrative is, if you can get enough people saying, this guy's a loony, he's crazy, he's threatening, he's of a violent disposition, he's this, he's that. If enough people say that, it becomes part of the story, it becomes the reality. And that's clearly what
Say
happened.
something often enough and people will accept it.
I think that's true, yeah.
Regardless of the reality, right.
I dug it out the other day, man, and it was like, I fucking forgot about that. Because she's got something to do with Puddick.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Put her on to Michael Walkin, didn't he? But I don't
That's
think
right, that's right. It was you that told me that, wasn't it? Yeah.